Good morning again, grade 9, my advisory. Let's have now the second quarter, okay, weeks 1 to 4. This is good for 1 month, all right? Because this is quite lengthy, okay? We did just started the second quarter today simply because we need to finish the first quarter, weeks 5 to 8, last time. So I already told you that last week is our last access to the first quarter, okay, second module, weeks 5 to 8. Without further much ado, let's continue with heredity, inheritance, and variations. How do we deal with heredity? What is heredity? How we inherit traits from our parents and from ancestors. And what are the variations when you're talking about a different variety of species? How do this variety of species evolve, right? Again, if you have questions, please raise it directly in our class, right? Nature versus nurture. Okay, humans grow and develop according to the instructions in their genes or according to our genes. Okay, to understand these instructions, the Human Genome Project or HGP, okay, mapped out the sequence of genes which help develop many fields, including medicine and human evolution. Okay, the purpose of why do we need to have the Human Genome Project is to again, okay, identify the sequence of genes, their proteins, and of course develop, okay, medicine for human evolution. What else? This is also good for creation. If you are familiar with in vitro fertilization, that is actually under the Human Genome Project. Okay, in vitro fertilization, test tube babies. What else? So those are just few of the advancements of technology in the field of genetics, genetic engineering. Okay, the HGP included that there are about 20,500 genes that affect human development. This big number makes it difficult to separate the relative influence of heredity and the environment on an individual's character. Take note that we are not just molded according to our genes. We are also molded according to our environment. That is why, right? Influence of environment. So just like when you are exposed in a rural area, therefore, your behavior, some of your characteristics are in the rural. If you're actually living in an urban area, okay, your behaviors are different from the rural and in the coastal area. Okay, those are influenced by environment or environmental factors. Okay, the environment may influence the growth and development of an individual. Correct. Height, for instance, is determined by genes. Tall parents will likely produce tall children. However, okay, inadequate nutrition, so the nutrition there becomes now what? The factor that affects growth. Okay, inadequate nutrition and lack of sleep may lead to stunted growth. Okay, although you have the genes for tall because all of the parents are tall, but then again, some of the offspring becomes stunted or short. Why? Because of these factors. There are factors that may affect some of the genes. Okay, in similar way, intelligence, which includes the speed of processing information, has been found to be genetically controlled. Okay, it is actually controlled by your parents, or it is actually came from your parents. Nevertheless, or nonetheless, even if a person is predisposed to becoming intelligent, if the environment where he or she grows up is not stimulating, meaning to say that if you're growing to an environment that you are not being stimulated with knowledge, you're not being trained to be one of the knowledgeable persons, or you're not trained to be to absorb all of those information, okay, he or she may not reach his full potential. This is the reason behind why I always give you, okay, this is the reason behind why I always give you a lot of analytical questions. This is again to stimulate your potentials. This is the reason behind. And I am a typical teacher that are really having fun answering those. Why? It Your brain creates a lot of information. You don't even know that you know. You don't even know that you can actually do that one. That is stimulating. And aside from that, I am always giving you a more complex, okay, because you are in grade 9 already. And in this case, you should have the capability of analyzing information, okay, and presenting it, okay, or transforming it into digital, number one, transforming it into words. So those supposed to be um, the stimulating factors. Okay. Similarly, a person may have the perfect combination of genes for intelligence, but if the environment motivates and nurtures learning, okay, the person may develop a higher intelligence quotient. Take note, IQ is not just in the genes. Okay. If you have the genes for a higher IQ, but you are not stimulated, then it will not actually what reach your potential, or it will not give you a full potential. But then again, if you're exposed, okay, you have the intelligence, you have the genes for intelligence, and you nurture, okay, you actually stimulates, you practice, okay, well, definitely you can have your full potential. That's the very reason why I always give you analytical questions. Okay. In fact, there have been researches that correlate environment to intelligence. Correct. So sometimes, talking about intelligence, sometimes this is quite a habit. No? If you are fond of reading, you need to choose a particular um topic to be read, or if you're fan of watching movies, you need to choose a particular movie. You need to be particular of the data that you are actually gathering. Okay. In my case, I am fan of watching Discovery Channel, Nat Geo Wild, National Geographic. I have a lot of documentaries. Those are just one of my hobbies. What else? Watching movies of the other countries in order for me also to gather information about what their culture is all about, because I am interested also in handling different cultures, okay, the richness of cultures. So those are just few. Okay, as early as now, you need to um check and balance on yourselves on what are the knowledge that you want to gather. Okay, DNA, genes, chromosomes, and traits. Okay, traits are observable characteristics determined by genes. Okay, again, traits are observable characteristic, can be observed. Okay, because this is observable. Okay, observable meaning you can actually see. Okay, observable meaning you can actually feel. That's observable. Okay, characteristic determined by genes. Okay, genes refer to the specific segment of deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA, a double helix molecule composed of a thin strand arranged like twisted ladder found inside the chromosome. Let's discuss later what is really DNA. Okay, the sides of the ladder made up of sugar and phosphate group. Okay, sugar, ribose sugar. Okay, ribose sugar and phosphate group. Okay, DNA molecules, while the steps of the ladder are made of nitrogenous base or nitrogen chromosome base pairs. Okay. A gene is a length of a DNA that codes for a particular protein. Okay. This is now the focus of the Human Genome Project, HGP. Okay. Particular protein that the DNA is actually coding. These are set of codes. For example, a gene may code for protein of your hair. the color of your hair, okay, or a protein like insulin, okay, which controls the level of glucose in your blood. Okay, without insulin, you cannot actually control the blood sugar or your blood sugar. The gene is also responsible for the uniqueness of each individual and for the similarities shared among family members. Uniqueness, because there is no one such thing as the same. Even twins. If you have known somebody or anybody that has a twin, observe them. They are not the same. Even congenital twins. Okay? Or even their faces. Okay? If you're going to observe them, they're not the same. Okay? Genes store the information needed to make the necessary proteins that will code, okay, take note, for specific traits. Okay? DNAs make up the chromosome found inside the nucleus of the cell, of each cell. Okay? The chromosomes replicate before the cell divides to make sure that each daughter cell contains the complete set of chromosomes. Okay. Later on also, okay, I think in your higher years, you'll be discussing about the cell cycle. And you will know why the DNA needs to replicate before cell division. Okay. From haploid to the diploid. Okay, what's with the haploid and the diploid? Okay, haploid means half. Diploid means complete. Okay. All living things reproduce to perpetuate their own kind and pass their characteristic to their offsprings. Correct. Okay. For multicellular organisms, when you say multicellular, these are organisms that compose of different cells. Multi means many. Like human beings, the sex cells or gametes undergo cell division to maintain the chromosome number of their species. Take note, again, the sex cells or gametes undergo cell division to maintain the chromosome number of their species. Okay. The process by which sex cells or gametes divide and shuffle their genetic material is called meiosis or meiotic cell division. Again, the process by which sex cells or gametes shuffle their genetic material, divide and shuffle their genetic material is called meiosis or meiotic cell division. Meiosis takes place in the production of sperms and egg or egg cells of animals and animals and in their on animals and in the anther and ovaries of flowering plants. Take note, for animals, we have sperms and eggs. Okay. For plants, they have anther and ovaries, which contains what? Pollen grains. Those are the reproductive system, reproductive organs of plants. Okay. It results in the daughter cells that possesses half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. These sex cells are said to be haploid. Okay. Haploid meaning half, one half only the number of chromosomes. That just like in our case, how many chromosomes does human contain? How many chromosomes do we contain? Do you have any idea?
24.
24. Any other idea? All in all? Do you have any idea, everybody? Based on your prior knowledge?
46.
26. Any other idea?
No, 46.
46, correct. 46, all in all. We have 46 chromosomes all in all. But in the case of gametes or sex cells, it contains only half the number of the total number of chromosomes. So if it is half, how many chromosomes do we have in a sex cells or gametes?
23.
23. Correct. So sperms contains 23 chromosomes, and egg cells contains 23 chromosomes because they're considered as gametes or sex cells. Question: why do we need to have a haploid number of chromosomes? Why you cannot have the sex cells or gametes diploid? Why should be haploid? What is the connection between having a haploid and a diploid? Talking about reproduction or talking about um, giving off the genes, the set of genes. Why do we need to have haploid? What's with the haploid? Do you have any idea? What's with the haploid? All right. We need to have a haploid set of chromosomes, okay? A haploid set of chromosomes in a gamete or sex cell simply because we need to maintain, again, the purpose why we need to have a haploid number of chromosomes in gametes or sex cells is to maintain the number of chromosomes in a particular species. Okay. What if, what if there are over number of chromosomes in a particular species? What will happen next? What do you think? What do you think will happen next? Do you have any idea?
Mutation.
Mutations. Yes, it can actually cause mutations. And mutations in animals is dangerous. Okay, again, mutation in animals is dangerous. Why? It can actually kill a particular organism, especially in animals. One good example of a mutation is trisomy 21. The 21st, okay, chromosome has 3 instead of 2. Okay, what happened next? Trisomy 21 is your Down syndrome. Okay, it is a Down syndrome. You know already what happened in a Down syndrome. You know already their capabilities. Okay, the development of brain is not that it is not that precise. What else? Their faces are different. Okay, you see, that is actually one of the effects. If we cannot actually control, okay, we cannot actually control the number of chromosomes. That is one case. And take note, these organisms or these humans cannot actually reproduce. They cannot reproduce. That's a big impact to humanity. Okay. Do you have any questions so far before we continue?
None. None, sir.
Something in your mind that you want to ask?
Wait, sir.
Yes, yes, Rabi.
I think, sir, it was 2 years ago. There was this deer, sir, that like mutated to be like to zombie-like.
That is
Is it also
possible.
related to chromosome?
That is
I'm not sure if
possible.
it was real.
Yes, yes, that is possible. But eventually, this deer will just die. It will not survive longer. They cannot adapt that easily. Right. So again, when you're talking about haploid, it is usually represented by small letter n or lowercase n. Okay. When two haploid sex cells unite during fertilization, the union between sperms and eggs, for example, the new organism will carry the original number of chromosomes in their species. That's the reason behind. So we are now controlling, we can now actually maintain the number of chromosomes because of these sex cells or gametes. Okay. Humans have 23 chromosomes in their gametes. Okay, take note. Humans have 23 chromosomes in their gametes, in the sperms and in the eggs. Okay. All in all, it is 46. And therefore contain only half of the complete set of chromosomes. Okay. During fertilization, the sperm carries only half the number of the chromosomes and unites with the egg that is also haploid. Okay. Both parents contribute a copy of each gene of the resulting offspring. The two sets of chromosomes from both parents now result in a complete set of 46 chromosomes in the developing embryo. Okay, the resulting zygote is said to be diploid. Okay, when you say diploid, it is complete. That's what I have telling you a while ago. Diploid means complete set of chromosomes. Okay, for humans we have 46 because it came from the 23. Okay, chromosomes from sperm and 23 chromosomes from the egg. Okay, all in all we have 46 chromosomes, right? Represented, diploid is represented by 2n. Okay, 2n. Again, if haploid represents lowercase n, okay, diploid represents 2n. Okay, so if you're going to tell me, sure, this is diploid, all you have to do is to write 2n, and I can understand that is diploid. Okay, all the cells of the body except for the sperm and egg or egg cells contain a complete set of chromosomes. The first 22 pairs, okay, 22 pairs or 44 chromosomes are called body chromosome or autosomes. Okay, what is the purpose of these autosomes? Okay, the 22 pairs are called body chromosomes or autosomes. This is responsible for your physical development and of course the different characteristic except for the gender. Again, the autosomes or body chromosomes are responsible for your physical characteristic, okay, and all of your behaviors, okay, all of your attributes, except for, again, gender. And the 23 pairs or 23rd pair make up the sex chromosome, okay, or this is the gender indicator. Okay, the sex chromosome determine the sex of an individual, male or female. The egg and sperm cells carry one member of each sex chromosome pair. Take note. Okay, the sperm contains a male, okay, contains a male chromosome, and the egg contains a female chromosome. Again, the sperm contains a male, which is Y, okay, XY to be specific, and the female contains XX to be specific. Okay, again, 22 pairs, okay, the 22 pairs are the autosomes, which is your physical characteristic and your attributes, and the 23rd pair or the last pair is called the sex chromosomes or gonosomes. Okay, sex chromosomes or gonosomes. This is responsible for the gender of a particular species, male or female. Okay, How many gonosomes does human have? How many gonosomes? Anybody? If we have 23 pairs, so most probably this is 44 chromosomes or body autosomes or body chromosomes or autosomes. How about gonosomes or sex chromosome? How many sex chromosomes do we have?
22.
22? 22 is for autosomes. How many sex chromosomes do we have? The sex determining chromosome. How many
23.
chromosomes? 43?
No, 23, I said.
23? 23? Is that your final answer? Anybody?
4, sir.
Diba, we have this 22 pairs already as autosomes, meaning these are responsible for your physical characteristics and your attributes. And the last pair supposed to be, take note that human has 23 pairs chromosomes, all in all. Okay, 22 of it is autosomes. Okay, and 1 pair of it is a sex determinant or sex determining chromosome. Meaning to say,